We are starting this hour, though, with a look at those violent protests that broke out at Foxconn's largest iPhone plant in China. Take a look at this footage. Some might find it difficult to watch. Those rare protests in Zhengzhou broke out after reports of plans to delay bonuses for workers there. The frustration spilling over weeks after the factory imposed a so-called closed-loop system to prevent the spread of COVID infections. For more of the latest developments, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's Anjalee Khemlani. And Anjalee, of course, we have seen an uptick broadly in China in these infections. What do we know specifically about what's played out at this Foxconn factory?
Seeing a really big spike in cases in China now, and this is really spilling over as the pressure from the general population is really what China is facing when it comes to the zero COVID policy, the stringent lockdowns, the closed loop, as you mentioned, in the Foxconn factory where workers are staying in dorms, and there have been some concerns about whether or not they are staying in dorms with COVID infected individuals or in spaces where people were previously infected with COVID. That was some of the concerns voiced by some of these young new hires who are also, to your point, complaining about not being paid bonuses. And so we actually got a response from Foxconn specifically in a statement to Yahoo Finance. The company said that it has emphasized that the allowance or the payment has always been fulfilled based on contractual obligation and will continue to communicate with relevant colleagues. So as you can see, They are trying to address this. They said that the workers came to them the night before on Tuesday night and did raise these concerns. And then, as you can see on your screen, it did play out in a violent protest the next day when they felt their needs were not being met. And this, of course, plays out, is what we've been seeing across the country when it comes to the concerns of individuals stuck in lockdown, stuck in that zero COVID policy. Here on your screen, you can see where some of the largest lockdowns have been and when they've been over the last few years. We have seen the shift away from these citywide lockdowns, and we know that now they're participating more in a dynamic policy, which is neighborhoods or venues or certain areas are on lockdown, as we saw with Shanghai earlier this year. And because China is facing such a concerning hike now, this is sort of where we are, where we're seeing the spillover of that frustration bubbling up.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to overstate how rare it is to see those kind of protests play out in public. That points to your point, the frustrations that we are seeing just years into this very stringent COVID policy. Anjalee Khemlani, thanks so much for that.